Okay, so questionnaires. This is the final piece of templates we're going to cover until we dive into templates or schedulers and workflows and automations. So I think questionnaires are probably some of the easiest ones after we've done all of that work, right? So we come in and you just create a new questionnaire, and it's very similar to everything else. So we're just going to call this the 10KDG template questionnaire. And then again, it defaults to this header image because that's the settings we created in the beginning. You could put a static like welcome message in here if you would like. So maybe it's like, I'm so excited you're here. Maybe you're giving some direction on how to complete this questionnaire. Like maybe you even want to give it like an estimated amount of time it'll take somebody to complete that, whatever that looks like in there. And then you can type your first question in. So maybe it's just their name, and then maybe you get some information for them. But every time you have to add in a new question. So you could do a one line of text, which is, this is a one line. A text area is like a paragraph. So you'll see that's like if you need a longer answer. So maybe it's mailing address, because that's typically uh, a longer response. Radio buttons. So here's the difference between radio buttons and checkboxes. Radio buttons only allows you to pick one from the given options, and checkboxes gives you options. So you can check multiple from that. A drop down list, if you wanted to give a list of options and then pick a drop down. And then on the section side, you can actually have different sections. So maybe it's like, you're doing a branding questionnaire, and maybe you're like, the first section is your story, and then maybe it's like what motivates you, or maybe it's like inspiration is the next section. So you can create different sections in your questionnaire as well. And again, it's all drag and drop. So I'll show you what this looks like from like a live, like what Carly uses it as. So she has it in here where it gives you some direction, and then you have some check boxes in here. These are some shorter responses. These are longer responses. Tell me about yourself, what products you're familiar with. There's a bunch of questions in here that are all like paragraph ones or longer responses, check boxes. So you could just make it your own. And it really doesn't take like a super crazy amount of time. But like, let's say you were like, I want to add a checkbox in, and let's do that question of like, what Adobe products are you familiar with, right? And then you can add the answers in InDesign and Photoshop, all of these different ones in here that you want, and you just have checkboxes now. So it's straightforward. It's really no fluff. It's just a matter of like actually getting in and like playing around with it and doing it. And then you have your different options. And if you wanted a radio button, maybe this was like a yes or no question, like um, you know, have you had branding done in the past, maybe, right? Like yes or no, like, and if so, maybe you want to see like what their past branding was. But that's a radio button that only allows them to choose one. So that's kind of there's a couple of overview items in here for questionnaires, but it's really like, again, you make it your own. You can do a lot of text area like you saw with Carly's. Whatever you need to be successful with this form is what you do in this questionnaire. Whatever you need to get the information from your clients, you could actually, once we go into some of the different templates that Carly has with her branding, you might say like, oh, I'm going to bring some of that information into a questionnaire. So it's really up to you, whatever is best and most conducive for your business. But that is the final template we'll walk through in Honeybook, and then we'll go through schedulers next.